Hello everyone, Nini FC from Blue Lions TV. Welcome to the match review of our 3-1 win over Crystal Palace. And yeah, we thought that Crystal Palace could be that bogey team. You know that when we normally play them at Stamford Bridge, we faced a lot of issues and a lot of problems. I mean, they're one of them teams that always step up their performances when they play us, but we were able to overcome them today. The main man, Morata, was back today, 2 goals, very unlucky to not get the hat-trick in the end, but it was a very good performance. Of course, Palace would make it quite difficult for us at times. You know, Sarri's constantly, Sarri and Zola talking about the fact that our pressing ain't consistent enough. There were times in this game where we weren't pressing, Crystal Palace were getting back into things, and Sarri's not going to be happy with that. I mean, I saw him on the touchline fuming. I don't think I've seen Sarri that angry this season. So, again, there's still a lot of things to still develop and work on, but hopefully it is going to get better in that respect. Moving on to the lineup, I think not really a surprise. I think maybe a lot of us thought that Hazard might be starting, but it was Pedro Willian, Barkley playing as a number 8, and you guys, it's one of them cases where I'm going to sound like I'll be honest, I don't really understand why people think I've got an agenda against Barkley, but I've got to say it how I see it. Now, of course, I don't know, I'm seeing that performance from him today, not that great. I mean, how many times was he losing possession of the ball and getting dispossessed? You know, how many times is he just very methodical with his passes, doesn't really provide any X factor? And it's like, you know, Kante didn't have his greatest game today, but in a way he's kind of able to, he's afforded that license to lose more possession of the ball in that sense. When you're playing as the number 8 in this team under Sarri, you can't afford to do that. With Ross constantly losing it in our own half and stuff, it's just not really helping the cause. And, you know, his form is starting to look a bit decent. I wasn't really getting too gassed. I'm going to judge him, you know, with a lot of months in the future. I think, you know, people have been a bit too, I don't know, a bit too quick to think that, you know, he's ready to displace cover and guys like that. I'm not too sure about that, but it was a pretty, I don't know, you guys, it was a pretty disappointing performance from Barkley in my opinion, and the guy's got a lot more work to do. Can he ever be that player for us? Who knows? I remember there's a time in Lampard, when he first came, no one at the time thought he'd ever be one of the greatest midfield players this generation, and he ended up being that. Could that happen to Barkley? Who knows? But I mean, if I'm being realistic, I think he'd need a whole season playing under Sarri before we could really start to see what he does for next season. But by the time that comes, will that be enough time? Not too sure. But again, you know, with Crystal Palace, very similar tactics to how it was against Derby. You know, Townsend was the guy that was man-marking Jorginho and following him quite a lot. They were quite fluid in terms of how they were structuring off the ball as well. You know, they start with their 4-3-3. Off the ball, they revert back to a 4-1-1 with Townsend being nearer to Jorginho. Zaha occupying the defenders and obviously just trying to make those runs in behind to cause us a lot of issues. And first off in particular, you know, Zaha was causing us a lot of problems with his running in behind, his ability to keep the ball as well, playing people in. We were struggling at times too, and it comes back to the point I was making earlier about how inconsistent the pressing was today. It just wasn't good enough, and I think the team have been making so many strides forward in regards to really getting this pressing on point. And for all of a sudden for it to be you know, a game against Palace where everything's disjointed but not pressing enough at times, it was quite telling. And whenever Palace were able to get on the ball, that's because the guys on top, weren't doing their job. So that was the only disappointing aspect in regards to this game. But you guys, the first goal does come. It is from Morata, and again, good for his confidence. Made it 4-5. It was a very good game and a very good day for Morata today. I mean, getting 2 goals. Coming to the end though, come on Morata. That was honestly, I rate the confidence. But come on, bro, what are you thinking? Doing a chip and the keeper's standing up already? Come on, like, yeah, your form's been getting better, but I don't think your form's at that point yet where you can start attempting that type of stuff. But it's good to see, and I've got to say with Morata's performance today, I think it's one of his best individual performances for a while. I mean, the thing I loved the most was how he was leading the line, leading the press. His work rate was incredible today. How many times, I mean, it was kind of like Drogba-esque at times in the sense that this guy was dropping deep to tackle guys in his own half. Led the line very well, occupied Sarko and Tompkins really good. Very intelligent performance, used his movement and his positioning a lot to get in behind them, and that's the type of service that Morata likes. Morata is never going to be the guy that's going to hold off the ball and play people in. You know, he's the type of guy that he's got to play on the last line of defence, make those runs in behind, start the presses, and, you know, he did that today. Very good performance of Morata, so I've got to give him a lot of credit for that. Still, as the game's going on, though, you know, as I'm saying, you know, Crystal Palace were getting back into the game at times. You know, Zaha, the guy, the main fulcrum for Crystal Palace. And you've got to say, you guys, when you watch this guy play, the guy's just a top player. A top player. And it gets you thinking, you know, Palace, not that great this season. Their 7th loss already. There's no way in hell this guy's going to be staying there forever. You guys in the comment section below, give me your thoughts and opinions. Would you be happy if he made a massive effort to try and sign Zaha and bring him in? Do you think he'd be an upgrade to our attackers? Would he improve our team? You guys let me know in the comment section below. But anyway, you know, the game's going on, and, you know, I was checking social media for a bit. I'm looking at some slight criticism towards Jorginho, which I was a bit surprised by. And it's just like, a lot of you guys already know this, but there still seems to be quite a lot of people that don't really understand what the point of Jorginho is. A lot of people kept saying, why isn't Kante playing deeper? You guys, as I keep saying all the time, you know, we're a team that we focus on playing out from the back. That's the most important thing. You know, we create a lot of passing patterns to play out from the back. That's how we're able to create our chances for the forward guys. And, you know, once we beat the opposition press, that's when we can play those quick vertical passes to start the attacks. And that's why we look so good. But, you know, going back to Kante a bit today, I've got to be honest, it wasn't the greatest performance from Kante. Of course, Kante is always going to be Kante. He's going to win his 50-50s. He's going to be good defensively. He's going to work hard. But in terms of some decision-making on the ball today, I was quite disappointed because, you know, Kante's better than this. A few times when players were opening in space, he wasn't confident enough to make that pass. He was getting dispossessed quite a lot too. And, you know, you don't really see Kante losing the ball or getting dispossessed off possession. But, it's interesting, you know, a lot of people still of the belief that, you know, should Kante be playing further up in midfield. I know people see what Man City are doing with, you know, the Silvers and De Bruyne, so I can understand from that aspect. But, you know, we have to understand that Sarri's got a different system compared to Guardiola in that sense. A bit more balanced compared to, you know, how Man City likes to play by just fully utilising and stretching all areas of the pitch. But with Kante, honestly, I am seeing some improvements in terms of what he's doing with the ball. I don't think it's a game where we can write him off and be like, no, Kante can't play further forward. He's got to play deeper. I don't think that's the case. I wouldn't be too reactionary in regards to that. But again, you know, Crystal Palace did make it 1-1 at the time. The introduction of Cover and Hazard is obviously going to make a massive impact and difference to the game and with how things were going. And with Eden Hazard, the guy's ability on the ball, it's just not that. I mean, you guys always know that I'm constantly saying about Hazard that he just improves the team. The team play better. The spaces were getting found. Everything is just much better. The crowd get more excited when he comes on as well. And that made a massive difference because at times we were a bit laboured with our use of the ball in terms of trying to, you know, get through Crystal Palace. Of course, with how Palace were playing, we all knew they were going to be that team that's just going to sit back and, you know, look to find their moments on the counter-attack by, you know, overloading areas out wide and trying to get Zaha to make runs in behind the fullbacks to start attacks. We saw that happening, so it wasn't anything new or different from them. But I mean, of course, you know, Hazard coming on to make a massive impact. Kovacic as well, and then, you know, going back to Ross Barkley again, you guys. I know it's one of them cases where it's like, you know, if I speak, I'm in big trouble. But with Quaba's introduction, just the way we manipulate the ball is just much quicker. The link-up play, finding the holes, taking responsibility in certain areas and moments as well. That's what you want to see from Ross. Didn't really see that from him today. I don't know. Give him more time to see what he can do if he's going to improve. But, I mean, there's just one thing that I just don't like about Ross, and it's how methodical he is with his passes. Everything's like very careful, like one touch, look around, then make the pass after. It's got to be much more fluid, and to me that tells me that Ross just isn't fully confident just yet. And now a lot of people are saying, oh, you know, the stat came up recently of, you know, when Ross was at Everton, he was completing like 5 dribbles a game. At Chelsea, he's completing 1. You know, I do understand that, but, you know, you got to understand with Ross, he was a guy where he had that confidence where he'd receive the ball in the half turn and drive, attack the spaces and create something. We're not really seeing that from him at all at Chelsea. And yes, I understand that he's following the manager's instructions to a T, but my God, is he really following them to a T? To the effect where it's like, he's not really showing us what he's really about, in my personal opinion. So it's a shame, you know, he was starting to show decent form, but I don't know. I'm not going to say, it's too early to say if he's gone back to old bad habits, but I don't know. I expect more from that. But I mean, again, good 3-1 win over Crystal Palace. Good to get a win over a team that we've traditionally struggled against recently over the past few years. Sarri, you can see with Sarri just the impact he's having on the team right now. What I really love about him is his use of the squad. For example, under managers like Conte and Mourinho, you know, how many times would they just used Eden Hazard at every opportunity, even if he wasn't fully fit, to his detriment at times. With Sarri's like, no, I've got full faith and confidence in the squad I have. Hazard, you're not ready to start this game fully. You're going to come in as a sub. And that's how you utilise the squad. Look at Morata's recent form. That's 5 goals in the past 5 games. Now, very unlucky to not get that hat-trick at the end. But that's come down to Sarri and his man management of Morata, taking out the spotlight a bit, letting him come on as a substitute in the last half an hour games where it's much more opened up. And you can see that Morata really played that confidence today. And I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see what's going to happen. I mean, let's be honest, you guys. I mean, it's not even really a secret. It's obvious, you know, Chelsea do want a new strikers, not even a striker, new strikers for either in January, most realistically in the summer. That's what they're hoping for. You know, if Morata doesn't want to get sold or moved on, he's got to step up his performances. If he continues down this path, if he can make it more consistent, if he continues, you know, playing his game, you know, leading the line, pressing really hard, he's got a massive chance, a massive opportunity. So let's see what happens to that. But again, credit has to go to Sarri for just utilising him well and the whole squad as well. You guys, my only little small negative, and it's just my own personal thing, so don't take it too deep. I was kind of disappointed to not see Ruben coming on. I mean, you're thinking it's against his old team he was at last season. He would have been up for it. He would have been ready for the game. I understand bringing on Cess. You know, Jorginho's been playing a lot of games, full 90 minutes. You know, he's one of our most important players. You know, this guy needs to be fully fit throughout the season. So it's smart by Sarri to do that. Me personally, I'd love to see maybe him experiment once with using Cover playing in that role. The reason why I say that is because if you just forget about his time at Inter Milan, his time at Madrid, he was playing very deep, and Cover's always been the guy that dictates the game, starts attacks. So I think he can do that. So again, you know, Ruben would have been good to see him. Great form recently. To not even get a few minutes as a sub. I'm not too sure. But again, that's my own personal thing. Doesn't come at anything, you know, to the team. But you guys, that's going to be the end for today's match review. Please like, comment, and subscribe. 3-1 over Crystal Palace. On every single game now, I'm just feeling that confidence that we're going to get back in the game. We're going to win it. We're going to create chances. We're going to score. It keeps happening. It keeps happening. Sarri's doing a fantastic job. The football. I mean, again, that's before I end the match review. Remember the times last season, or remember the times under previous managers where it's the last 20 minutes of a game and we just sit back and sit deep. Look how we played today. Look how we kept possession of the ball, still kept dictating things and playing our game. That's what you want to see. That's what Sarri's done, and it's great to see. You guys, I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Line TV, signing out.